You're listening to Chillworthy,
a podcast where two best friends discuss mysteries, murders, and anything in between for your enjoyment.
So if you're ready to hear some chilling and unsettling cases, you're in the right place. Happy listening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2, season 2. Actually, It should be the other way around. Season 2, episode 2 of Chillworthy with Brent and Talia.
Hi, everybody.
We hope everyone is having a lovely January.
A wonderful winter.
Absolutely, if you are in that hemisphere.
Right.
So, before we really dive into today's case, we have some books to talk about. Unsurprisingly, Talia has books, and surprisingly, I do have books.
A few.
Right.
Yeah.
So, would you like to go first or second?
Doesn't matter. Do you want to go first?
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So, I've been reading a bunch of books lately. Well, listening to a bunch of books lately.
Thank you for saying that. Right.
You're not welcome. So, I've been listening. Talia's been looking at books.
Reading.
Some might call it that. But anyway, these are the books that I have listened to over the basically over the break, I would say, the break that we've had. We start with Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Alice Feeney.
By Alice Feeney.
Yes, I've seen that. Haven't read it. What do you think?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
So this is about a couple, and they basically win a weekend away in Scotland by a loch, as they call it. Not a loch, but a loch.
Where Nessie hails from. Well, not that specific one, but yes.
And so it's kind of like this old, revamped, I don't know, like mansion-y church kind of thing. And so they're there, and obviously weird things start happening. Not paranormal necessarily, but just weird.
Right.
And, it's just a thriller. The husband has, what do they call it?
Like a disease.
No. I forget what the technical term is, but it's basically like he does not have facial recognition.
Oh.
He doesn't know. He wouldn't be able to pick out his wife in a room full of people. Like,
get out of here.
And that is a thing. I just don't know what it's called, but it is like, faces mean nothing to you.
So would I walk into your house and not know that you're you when you answer the door?
I guess you're at my house would be a pretty good guess.
Right, but right. I could think you're the neighbor.
Shh. What are they doing answering my door?
Correct.
I guess.
No, wait a minute.
So
give me a better example here. I don't understand this.
Well, a better example would be like you're out at a grocery store and I walk up to you.
Oh, because like it's out of context of where I think I would see you.
Right.
So you walking up to me and being like, Talia, hi.
Well, hey. If I said Talia, hi, you'd probably recognize my voice. But
I could walk right by you.
That's what the premise of this book is, man.
What? I don't know if I want to read this book.
Okay, well then don't.
I'm glad you're telling me all this. So. I read other books by this author. Can I just look for a minute? Oh, and you know what? My grandmother, I'm pretty sure, just gave me one. Yes, I read Daisy Darker. Oh, and you know what? She also just came out fairly recently with The Midnight Feast. You've probably seen it out at bookstores. It's like everywhere with the lanterns.
No.
Yeah. I did not read that one. Yeah.
So anyway, that's Rock, Paper, Scissors. I'm just going to try to get through mine quick.
Oh, sorry.
And then we can just really lollygag on yours.
Okay.
And that is sarcastic. I don't want to
I know.
That.
I know.
Okay,
that.
Just making sure.
Yes, thank you. I recognize the sarcasm.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So then I read What Lies in the Woods.
I did too.
By Kate Alice
Marshall, right? Was that her name?
Yes.
I read a few by her, and my grandmother just gave me her new one that she got from the book of the month. That was what her book of the month was that she chose. She said it was excellent. She couldn't put it down. She loved it.
And the name of that?
Something I think about the cold.
Oh, dead killer cold?
Nah, is that
Didn't
what
you
it's
say
called?
that?
A killing cold.
Oh, okay.
It's called, and it's like a turquoise and yellow. What do you say?
We don't
cover.
need the color scheme.
All right. It's a chilling winter setting, it says.
Sounds nice.
All right. So what'd you think? What Lies in the Woods?
Yeah, it was fine. Not, there are better ones on my list.
Yeah, I thought the same thing about that book. I was a little disappointed in it.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Yeah, it was fine. I just thought I was going to love it, and I liked it.
So it was like
with the girls.
Yeah, like 3 girls. One of them gets
kids at the time.
Yes. One of them gets attacked in the woods by a serial killer, or so the other 2 girls say. And then when they're adults, the girls kind of reconnect back in the same town, and, secrets from the past resurface.
Good
if
way
you
to
will.
say it, right.
Yeah. So, that one was like 3 to 3.5 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Then we had On a Quiet Street by Serafina Nova Glass.
Yeah. What'd you think? I did not
Lovely.
read that one.
Loved it.
Really?
Very nice.
5 stars.
No, I didn't give any 5 stars. I can't commit to that.
It's tricky.
Unless it's The Ocean at the End of the Lane
or
Nosferatu.
Speaking of that quickly, did we talk about the movie that Nosferatu came out as a movie?
Well, it's a show.
Oh, a show. I thought
On
it was
AMC.
a movie. I was going to say, you didn't mention that you would want to see it.
I saw the first season, I want to say, but I don't really remember, and I don't have access to it anymore. So, so On a Quiet Street was obviously a domestic kind of thriller. Very, when I was reading it, I just pictured the set of Desperate Housewives, very manicured lawns and beautiful homes and people up in everybody else's business, but everybody kind of seems cool from the outside and things really aren't cool.
Right.
That type of thing. So it's just about neighborhood secrets and things intertwining with one another. So that one was good. Mm-hmm. Then we had One of the Good Guys.
Oh, I never heard of that.
By Aramita Hall.
Huh.
And this one is about a man who is just freshly getting a divorce. Mm-hmm. He moves to the British countryside to become like a kind of like coastal park ranger or something.
Sounds lovely.
Mm-hmm. And he meets a female friend who lives in a cottage right down from him. But this is it's these cottages are they're not in a neighborhood. They're kind of desolate.
Yeah.
So they become friends, potentially more. And simultaneously, there are 2 women who are going backpacking across the coast to raise money for raise money and raise awareness for women's rights and stuff like that. And they end up going missing.
This sounds delightful.
And so now the guy and the girl are sort of also, they find themselves in the middle of what's happening.
Now, wait a minute. I have to make note of this and find this book immediately. What is it? No Good Guys? What does it say? What is it?
One of the Good Guys.
All right. Hold, please. Well, this was a good find. May I ask? One of the good. Here we go. Oh, this is a very cutie cover. This did not get fantastic reviews.
I didn't give it a great review either. I gave it 2 stars.
2? Harsh, but deserved, I guess.
Well, maybe. You'd have to tell me.
Right. Now, wait a minute. Where are you finding these books?
TikTok.
Okay.
For the next 2 days.
Rest in peace.
I know. I feel sick.
The review videos that you watch, that's where these are being.
They're not even TikTok, you don't really get reviews. It's more just recommendations. They don't go it's not like on YouTube where they really kind of go and do a deep dive into
which I don't
this is what the book's about. This is what I liked about it. TikTok's way more to the point of
brief.
like, here are 5 thrillers that I recommend for 2024.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. Yeah, there's one girl in particular. She has very lovely eyebrows, and she was the one that wore the Halloween Town T-shirt in the fall that I liked. It was like teal.
I couldn't say.
Maybe she's listening to us now for all I
highly
know.
doubt it.
So you basically listen to that, hear something, go look, read, listen, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And lastly, I am currently listening to First Lie Wins.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Read it. Loved
Ashley
it.
Elston.
I did not remember this author. I wanted to read this book so bad when it was like announced that it was coming out. Oh my God, I was so excited. And then I borrowed it from one of our mutual friends, Anne. She had it through Book of the Month. And I was so freaking excited to read this book. Oh my God. And it delivered, man. It delivered.
Well, good. I'm only halfway through it.
Oh, okay.
So, but I really like it so far.
Yes.
But that's all I can say.
Well, it is fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And yeah, I would say what the premise is like a girl undercover, not undercover in a cop way, but a girl pretending to be somebody else as a job. And she's getting close to a man for said job. And you kind of follow her journey.
Well, and
being a liar.
This one goes back and forth, which you don't like.
Oh, time-wise.
Yes.
I was going to say, no, it's the same person talking the whole time. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm still not a huge fan of it, but basically more than half those books I just told you about all do that.
Absolutely.
So you can't escape it.
Nee.
There'll never be another Green Eggs and Ham.
No, I don't believe there will be. Yes.
Never another Goodnight Moon where it starts and ends. Doesn't have to be Goodnight Moon. 82 years previously, Goodnight Balloon. But what can you do?
Right.
So anyway, that's what's happening.
I'm sorry. What?
If I were to recommend one out of those 5, I would say either First Lie Wins, just because I am highly enjoying it, or On a Quiet Street.
All right. On a Quiet Street, I'm not like clamoring to read it, but I'm curious.
I'm just talking to the audience, not necessarily you.
Alrighty.
Just
Thank
saying,
you.
I'm recommending it just to the general audience.
Public, yes. Now, do you ever listen to more than one at once?
Absolutely not.
You don't desire to. You don't desire to.
No, I don't desire. No way.
All right.
Although I've been confident enough in how fast I'm going through these books at this point that I have been placing holds on more than one book at a time, which I usually never do. Like through the Libby app, I will only take one because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to finish it in time, and I can't have another one just sitting on the shelf.
But you can delay.
Right, but I'm saying I'm not delaying. I am taking. So now I've got even though I'm only halfway through this book, I have got another one sitting on my shelf waiting in the wings.
Yeah. I
All
will
right.
say Libby is, I'm grateful for it and it's lovely, but boy, is it tricky with the maneuvering of reading something, really wanting something to become available, never becomes available at a good time. Do I download it and put myself on airplane mode? It's just, it gets to be a racket. And then I like having the option, if you're waiting for something, you can quickly read on your Kindle app on your phone. If the book gets returned, then it's not available anymore. You can't see it on the phone.
And for those who don't know, the Libby app would be the library app.
Yes. You connect to your local library.
And some unlocals.
Yeah, there are some libraries that you can get a card through. The only one I have anymore that will still work, depending on what state you're a resident of, you can get a library card through those, but then there are also libraries in other states that offer it too. But then some of those are on a timed situation, and then you get
which I don't like.
off.
And I
agree.
actually one of my cards did expire, and I wanted to contact that library.
You can get back on it. You got to pay.
Oh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
There's like an annual, which if you're it does give so many more options.
I mean, I'm not paying.
Right.
I'm not interested in that.
Well, and if you don't have a ton in holds, I feel like it would be stupid for you to do it. Not stupid, but just like sort of pointless. I have like whatever the max is, like 50 holds or no, that's not the way it goes.
Wait, so did you pay?
No.
Hell.
No. Certain libraries allow, I think, different numbers of holds. So I think I only have 3 libraries now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, we've hit the 15-minute mark, so
okay.
Do your best to run
my
through
books.
your books. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to zip it over here.
You're not going to say anything?
Probably not.
Well, all right.
I might.
All right.
I'm not going to know any of these.
You're not correct. Oh, nor would you want to read probably any of them.
Good. I can't wait to hear all about them.
I'll keep it brief. So I had already talked about Ellen Hilderbrand, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, if it's Ellen. She's the one that writes the Nantucket books that you made that exact sound. And yeah. So, it's called the Winter Street series. They're all cozy Christmas stories. There are 4. I read up to 3 and then stopped because I think I want to save 4 for next year. And plus Christmas had passed by that point. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to move on here. That one that I told you about that I was really struggling through, Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness, that was hard. That was a difficult task. Got through it. Did not care for it at all. Did not.
I would congratulate you for finishing it, but you know my stance on it.
I know.
If you're not being enriched or enjoyed by it, then just get it the hell off your list.
I was thinking that the whole time I was reading it of you in that like mindset. And I thought, but no, like I've said to you how many times, so many books that I've been like, now this one I like disliked. So that should have been a clue. But ones that I'm kind of lukewarmish about do start to shift around 50-60% sometimes for me. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I did continue it. It's not a 5-star if it takes that long for me to really like it. But anyway, How to Solve Your Own Murder, I gave 3 stars. That author is Kristen Perrin. I liked it, didn't love it. Very cutie, British, cozy mystery. Nice. Fine. Yeah. Still Life, I read. That's like a cozy, takes place in Canada. It's like also a series. The author is Louise Penny. And it's this one investigator and then his team, and then all the stories in the series are just set in this cute, quaint town with like the townspeople being affected while sort of participating in the investigation. Very nice, like sharp writer. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
4 stars.
Wow.
Margot's Got Money Troubles by, not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Rufai Thorpe. Not a huge fan. It was a very like quirky, wonky read. Loved the basic message of it. Very hopeful. Very like, I think someone like of our generation, a younger generation, would really enjoy it over, say, like potentially our parents or grandparents. I don't think they would necessarily enjoy it. I gave that one 3. Easy read, like funny, sarcastic, but not a favorite.
Okay.
Above the Fire by Michael O'Donnell, I read. That's a dystopian novel about a father and his 7-year-old son, and they're in the New Hampshire wilderness, like doing a through hike, and the end of the world basically is seeming to happen like down below in civilization.
I don't like that.
But it's not like related to the climate. It seems like it's more related to like society, I'll say. I won't
Almost
give too much
scarier.
away. Exactly. I completely agree. And so I wasn't sure because my favorite type of dystopian novel has to do with like climate change, as you know. Speaking of that, I saw this thing came through the other day about upcoming 2025 book releases. And this one, I forget the name of it. I got on the list for it through Libby, but it says several months wait. But it's a dystopian novel about climate change. And it like, I think, takes place in Manhattan. And this family is living at the top, like on the roof of one of the museums. And the hurricanes that are happening, like it's futuristic, obviously. They refer to them as megacanes. And like, because hurricanes are so like off the wall at this point and so extreme and intense that like they start at 200-mile-per-hour winds. Like that's how extreme the weather has gotten. I can't freaking wait. I'll probably have nightmares, but I can't wait to read this book. Okay, so what I'm currently reading, Like Mother by Susan Rieger. It goes back and forth, and it basically is there. It's 3 parts. It's a woman, I would say 60s, then her daughter who is 20s, 30s, and then the grandmother. Mm-hmm. And just like a really sharp writing, very interesting to see like generationally what's happening in this family with these 3 women and like what has impacted some of them. And it's a very, very, very good book. I'm loving it. I'm halfway through. The Man Who Died Twice. I don't think you would like this series, The Thursday Murder Club. It's about 4 people in their 80s, and they're in like a retirement community in England, and they're like are trying to solve mysteries. Very good. The first one was excellent. This is the second one. The author is Richard Osman. I think there's like 5 in the series. I don't know what he's gotten up to, but yeah, I'm excited. And then yeah.
Reminds me of this is years and years ago when I was reading, all from the same author, which I can't remember, from the Dublin Martyr Squad.
Oh my gosh. I forgot all about that and how you would do that voice. I totally forgot about them.
They were cute.
Right. And then Orbital, I just started. I'm trying to not read like 4 at once because I noticed the less I read at once, I get through them faster, which I really like. But Orbital by Samantha Harvey, very, very good so far. It's about 6, I believe. I think it's 4 astronauts, 2 cosmonauts, and it's just kind of talking about their time in space. They're on like a space mission, and it's just kind of going through like what things are like up there. And it's a novel. I want to do a deep dive on the author because I'm curious like what kind of research she did for this. Like, does she have that background? Isn't the cover gorgeous? I'm obsessed with it. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of Chihuly Glass, that artist.
Sure.
Anyway, and that's it. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
Right.
So before we get started, just doing our little typical disclaimer, I just wanted to say that in the age of the internet, there is a bunch of conflicting information out there.
Right.
So, while we have been researching, obviously we're going to come across things that may or may not be completely accurate.
Despite our due diligence.
All right, so let's jump right in then.
Your topic today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my topic.
Right.
All right. So, the case I would like to talk about today is known as the Tamam Shud case.
I thought you were going to say tomato.
Tamam, one word, then Shud, Shud. And this is also known as the mystery of the Somerton Man. So, this case is one of Australia's very perplexing unsolved mysteries. I don't think we've ever done an Australian one.
I don't think so, no. I was going to say beautiful country. Finding Nemo, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything down there wants to kill you, and I just don't. I can't get behind that.
Kangaroos just want to punch around a
Kangaroos, some of those are scary looking things.
And they're big.
Right.
They are biggos.
I was just having this discussion with somebody, and I said, one of our friends, Michael, is going to Australia.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me this. I was just going to react like you did.
For like almost like a month or so, for 3 weeks
If you're going that far, you should be there for a month.
Well, yeah. But I was talking to him about what animals I would be okay with intermingling with, because there's saltwater crocodiles and great whites and all that bullshit.
Hell yeah. Some of my faves.
And, scary snakes and huge spiders and like all that stuff. But I said, I think a koala would be lovely.
Right.
A little wombat. Am I thinking, is that the little kangaroos? No.
No.
A wombat
Yes.
is probably cute too, but oh my God, what are those little kangaroos? I want to say billabong.
Doesn't it start with like
Wallaby?
hairy manga?
Are they wallabies?
Oh my God.
They have to be.
Joey is the legit baby, so
I
that's
know that.
not correct. Mini kangaroo. Here we go.
Wallabies, yes.
So they're not aggressive.
They're tiny little cutie pies.
Yeah, they are actually pretty freaking cute.
So yeah, those, and maybe potentially an emu. I think they
Those
could be,
can be nasty.
Yeah, I think they could be, but I'd like to believe that they wouldn't be. So anyway,
Don't platypi come
They're
from there?
adorable,
They
yeah.
are so stinking cute. I had an adorable platypus stuffed animal as a child. God, I loved it. So
sure.
freaking cutie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. Sorry, keep going.
and that would be why.
The little animals at the end and like the forest, and they're the horns, and it's the mother and the babies.
I do know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
which are not at all platypus.
Always reminded me of them. Always.
Okay, they're just honky bells. But-
Correct.
right, like bicycle bells.
Absolutely.
All right.
God, I love that scene.
That's a very sad part of the movie to
and
me.
they're some of my favorite characters.
It's
Very
not,
sad.
nothing about them, but just
So
the fact that she has given
somber.
up all hope. She's scared out of her
Oh,
mind.
absolutely.
They just keep disappearing around her.
I
And
know.
then comes that freaking cat. I always have mixed emotions about him. I find him kind of nice, but he's also a very big instigator.
Never been a fan of him.
And,
I think he's a little bit of a jackass. Smug.
oh, absolutely smug. And
a lot of characters in that movie
agitating
are
the
smug.
queen purposely. Yikes, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I already found out where the case derives its name from.
Oh, good.
So, here's the overview. The case derives its name from a scrap of paper found in the deceased's person's pocket. And it was bearing the phrase Tamam or Tamam, however you pronounce that, Shud. And that is Persian for ended or finished. So, not a name.
Yeah.
And it was torn from the final page of a rare edition of a book, which I cannot even begin to pronounce.
What a waste. How awful. The damage.
And she's not talking about the murder.
I'm not. I'm talking about that poor book.
So this case has baffled investigators for decades, and it has spawned numerous theories, potentially involving espionage, unrequited love, and murder.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so this is what's going on here. December 1st, 1948, there is a discovery of a body. So 6:30 in the morning, a man's body is found propped up against the seawall at Somerton Beach, Somerton, which apparently is south of Adelaide, which I don't know.
Oh my God, that's like,
I know it's a name you love.
I love that name.
Yes.
Oh, I think it is
Hence, I just
such,
said it's a name you love.
it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
So he is in a well-dressed, he's well-dressed. He's in a suit. His shoes appear to be polished. He's got no identification or anything that would identify him, like a wallet. So witnesses recall seeing him in the same spot the evening before, and he was just appearing to be resting or asleep. Then the autopsy suggests that the time of death was around 2 a.m. on December 1st. The observations that these people made were there were no visible signs of violence or struggle. What do you call them?
Defensive wounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I said, he carried no ID, And interestingly, all of the labels were removed from his clothes.
Very strange.
So there were some items found in his pockets, which included a used bus ticket, a train ticket, and a pack of cigarettes. And a note that was made is that the cigarettes were one brand, and the box they were in were another brand.
Weird.
Just so you know.
Weird.
So, now here we are, early December 1948. So the autopsy's findings. The official coroner's report found the following things. He was 40 to 45 years of age. He had gray eyes and he was clean shaven. He was 5 foot 11 inches tall.
Stomach contents.
Well built, broad shouldered. All sounds nice to me. If you're asking me.
Water on my nose and my straw.
He had reddish colored hair.
Interesting with the gray eyes, but I suppose doesn't mean anything.
I suppose it doesn't. He had some graying around his temples.
Oh, shit.
A distinguished gentleman.
You added that part.
His hands and nails showed no signs that he was like a person that did manual labor.
Okay.
And odd, I mean, I guess it's not odd, but it's just something I would never think to look at. Not that I'm a coroner. His big and little toes formed a
webbing.
Formed a wedge shape, which indicated that he'd been in the habit of wearing high-heeled, pointed shoes. And he had unusually high calf muscles.
From wearing the heels and having definition. He was defining those muscles.
Right. So, like, instantly I think drag queen.
Absolutely.
But who knows?
Absolutely.
So.
And we don't know his name.
No.
Yeah.
So his death was determined to have occurred from heart failure, likely caused by poisoning.
Oh, my God.
But no traces of poison are detected during toxicology tests. This reminds me of Cindy James. That poor soul.
Exactly. God.
But there were some experts who suspected that there could have been a rare, fast-acting toxin. And they give the names. I'm not even... They're so scientific, right. I don't even know how to pronounce them.
So what? Basically that, like, he had ingested it, and by the time of autopsy, like, it was already gone.
Right, like they just...
Flushed.
Yes. So, and of course they did make note of the fact that it's unusual that it's like somebody, whether it was himself or somebody else, went to pretty great measures to make sure that he was unidentifiable in terms of the clothing didn't have brands on it. There was no wallet. There was nothing to be like, hey, this is Jimmy.
Well, and I'm curious with the tickets because, you know, back, what did you say? This was the late 40s?
Yes, 1948.
I was going to guess that, but then I doubted myself. You know, who's...
December of 1948.
Oh, so about to be 49. But I'm thinking back then, names weren't necessarily on tickets. I don't even know if names are on tickets now. But I was thinking... I don't know, like I'm assuming you're going to get to this topic, but like, what were the dates on the tickets? How recently had he traveled? Did he use both forms of transportation like around the same time? Like, depending on where he purchased the tickets, if they're able to tell that, is that potentially the town that he was from? And
Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yee.
So.
Okay.
Now we are in January, and you guessed it, of 1949. There is a discovery of a suitcase that is believed to have belonged to this deceased man, and it is found at the Adelaide railway station.
Oh, where his ticket was from, potentially.
Potentially.
Now, why do they think it was his?
I'm just going to ignore that question. So this is the contents of the suitcase. There was a stencil kit.
That's nice.
It was used for marking cargo, so hinting that this man had naval or shipping connections.
Like his job.
I guess so.
Right.
There was a screwdriver, scissors, and some other miscellaneous tools.
Crafty.
There were, and I have a feeling this is why they probably thought it was involving him. Yeah. The clothing in the suitcase had all the tags removed.
Oh, shit.
Except for one thing, which had, and I don't know what it is before you ask, but it had the tag on T, like Talia.
All right.
Keen. Keane.
Maybe he removed his own tags and he had a tactile issue.
Yeah, I said I don't know. Maybe it was him.
Right.
But that that clothing tag was untraceable. They don't know where it came from.
So that wasn't like handwritten on there. He was writing his name in his clothes. That was like the brand.
I think it was the brand. And lastly, there was a coat stitched with a unique orange thread that, interestingly, was unavailable in Australia. So which they suspected came from somewhere abroad.
Right.
Yes. So now, June 1949 happens.
Almost 6 months ahead.
They're still looking at this case, and a small, tightly rolled up scrap of paper with the words Tamam Shud
I keep thinking you're going to say tomato.
is found in a hidden pocket of these man's pants.
So months after the fact of his body being found, they're doing another search.
Apparently.
And find this in a pocket.
A hidden pocket, which I guess explains why they missed it the first time.
Good call. I shouldn't be so hard on them.
Whenever I say Tamam Shud, I keep thinking of you talking about, what was it, New England Shid?
Oh my gosh, Lady in the Dunes.
Yeah, I know, but...
Yes, and we were going back and forth on what shit was.
Anyway, so the phrase is traced to, like I had told you in the beginning, to a rare New Zealand edition of this book that I'll never be able to pronounce. So I can't even begin to say it. But it's like a 4-letter word book.
Oh, that's it? It's just a 4-letter word?
No, I'm sorry. It's a 4-word titled book.
Got it.
So investigators issued public appeals for anyone possessing this edition of the book to come forward. July, a month later, a man comes forward with a copy of this book. The first word of the book is, or the first word of the title is Ruba Ayat. Okay.
I can see your difficulty in.
So it says, a man comes forward with a copy of the Ruba Ayat that was found in his car or around the time of this Somerton man's death. The copy of this book is confirmed as the actual copy where this page came from.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, shid.
Oh, should.
Exactly. So inside the book, there is handwritten code with indecipherable, they don't know what the code is. So this code is indecipherable, even though there were efforts made by cryptographers and military intelligence to figure out what it was, and I guess nobody could crack it. The code includes a series of seemingly random letters believed to be a cipher. So, what is that? Just a secret code?
I always thought it was, it makes me think of, or no, never mind. I'm thinking of a sigil. Oh. So I don't know.
So now we're still in July 1949. And there's a phone number that was found in this book, and it leads investigators to a local nurse known publicly as Justine, But her real name was later revealed as Jessica Thompson.
Huh.
So Thompson claims no knowledge of the man, but admits to owning a copy of this book, which she had given to a soldier. This is so convoluted. Which she had given to a soldier during World War II. So just so I'm making sure I'm following my own research here, this man dies on a beach 6 months after they find a paper in a hidden pocket of his jacket.
Oh, sorry.
Or whatever. Jacket, pants, his clothing.
Yeah.
That has a page from a rare New Zealand book.
That another man.
Right. That another man
has the exact
turns
copy.
himself in to say, yes, I have this book.
Like
in
the
my
exact
car.
book.
Right. And the book is the exact book where this page came from. And then after they examine the book, there is a telephone number to a nurse. And she's like, yeah, I had a book like this, but I gave it
to a soldier
in
World War II.
World War II.
Which would have been a few years before. Would have been what, 6 years before? Look at me right now.
I was going to say, I
Probably
have
wrong.
no idea. Probably right before Boxing Day. So these detectives, or, who's like the people who are doing this case, they noted that she had a very nervous demeanor.
Guilty.
Sparking theories of her connection to the deceased. Of course, people are thinking like, what is going on here? I'm certainly thinking what's going on here.
Absolutely.
So, this is a word I'd feel like we don't hear very often, but espionage.
No, we've never done a case, I feel like, that has ever come up in.
So the timing of this case during the early Cold War and the man's apparent use of rare poison and this weird-ass code that's in the book that nobody can decipher, including military,
Oh, wow.
professionals. Well, I did tell you that. But I'm glad that you're listening now.
I am listening. I think I was distracted by her galloping around. Well, she's not galloping, but she seems bothered by my microphone cord. I think she's afraid of it.
I think she's fine.
She's scaredy.
So anyway, they were theorizing that maybe this man was like a spy.
Who died?
Yes.
Okay. He got in over his head.
Right. So that's one of the things, because he was found nearby not far from like a place in Australia that had military importance. Like, I don't,
Well, real quick, back to when he was found. I know the thought is that he was poisoned, but if there was no trace of anything, where did that come from, that suspicion?
Well, I think because they were saying it looked like he died of a heart attack, but he was in completely good health.
Yes, right.
So they were theorizing that
I forgot about the heart attack.
Put something in there and that it just dissipated very quickly.
Yes. Okay, got it. Thank you.
So espionage is this first theory. Then they have the theory of unrequited love. So some people were speculating that this man traveled to see Jessica Thompson, a.k.a.
the nurse.
Justine.
Yeah.
And he was either rejected or they were involved in a secret relationship. And Jessica's son, Robin Thompson, had striking physical similarities to
the deceased.
Wow. Which, of course, only fueled the speculation more that they could have been
the son was
intertwined.
The love child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, one of the main things that nobody can decide on was this suicide or murder, because of the fact that this guy or somebody took all of his features, or not features, any kind of identifying features on his clothing, in his pockets, and just got rid of them.
Right.
So it's like, either, like, again, was this guy a spy who decided, for whatever reason, he wanted to make himself completely anonymous, and maybe he thought he was going to be in trouble and was in trouble and died, or somebody else went above and beyond to do such a thing. Why'd you leave him on a beach?
That's what I kept thinking. It was an odd location, and it's not like you took him out to sea and dumped the body, you know?
Or hid it, even.
Yes.
I mean, something as simple as hiding it. But
right. I mean, is that simple, though? You know, where do you go? Where do you start?
Put some sand on it.
True.
I mean, at the very least.
You're at the beach. Right.
Having a beach day. Did you build sandcastles as a child?
I did. It wasn't my favorite thing to do. I did enjoy getting buried. I even, would just fiddle about and bury my own feet and legs.
I'm
I would
sure.
just sit there and do it, and I enjoyed that. But I love art. I am not artistic. I am not creative. It's not for me, building things.
It's not for me.
I much preferred being in the water,
I was going to ask, so you preferred playing in the water versus playing in the sand?
Heck yeah, definitely.
What were you doing in there?
In the water?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a bunch of malarkey. Floating, flittering. I like to sit and get knocked over. Like if you're sitting and it's not at all, the waves are not high, but it can really get you in the face.
Of course, water is powerful.
Right. You sink a little bit, and then that's kind of a weird sensation. When I was young, I liked to go out with, like a family member and jump in the waves. Then I was going to say the stronger that I got swimming, was never a good swimmer. I could only stay afloat, but I loved going out far and just the area where it's rough and then it starts to get really calm, and it's mostly calm except for the big waves. I like that. I love that area.
I hate that.
I think it's just lovely. I did stuff with boogie boards. I had them.
Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah, I've had my fair share of boogie boards.
Yeah. Were you a sand castle person?
No.
Really? I totally thought you would have been.
And when I was little, I used to love the waves.
Yeah.
Pre-Jaws, I used to love the waves.
Well, how old were you when you saw Jaws?
I don't remember.
So you distinctly remember when you saw that movie, the tide figuratively turned for you.
It
with
probably
being in the
did,
water.
I would say.
Wow.
Because, my parents, and my mother, we don't go really to the beach anymore, but
right.
When we did, she was a fan of, she would go out where right where you were talking about, where let the waves roll on in or whatever.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
She had a horrible experience, though, many years ago.
When you were young,
I'm sure she's going to love this story, but
forgive
Ocean
us.
City.
Yeah, Maryland or New Jersey. Maryland.
We were there, and she was out there.
By herself?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Yeah. I don't know.
But were you 5 or were you 15?
Let's go with 10.
All right, fine.
I don't know. But I wasn't 15.
Okay.
And the waves started rolling in, and one or two really slammed her.
Rogue. Yeah.
And I don't remember if she broke. If she broke her leg, not her leg.
What?
But something happened.
Broke a bone.
I don't know if she broke a bone now, but she couldn't get out, and she was calling and waving to my father, and he thought he just wanted her to come in the water, and he just kept saying no.
Oh, the poor man.
And eventually, they had to get beach patrol. To come
and
lifeguards and everything.
Rescue.
Well, take her away by ambulance, I want to say.
And you laugh.
I'm laughing at your face.
This is horrific.
But it's driving me nuts that I can't remember
what the injury
was, because I almost feel there's no way I would remember if she broke a bone, but yet was it just a majorly twisted ankle, something she could not stand was the point.
Right.
But
so did she get herself to shore, or they had to go in and get her and bring her to shore?
I think she kind of got herself to shore, but assistance was needed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't coming from my father.
That poor man, totally getting confused over like, I mean, and it is, I feel like very hard to communicate when you're in the water to who's up at shore. I mean,
those waves are panic inducing. When you start to lose control in those waves, that can be very scary.
And that you're so panicked, and then, you know, they're obviously relentless. So
They sure are.
You keep getting like pummeled by them as you're trying to, you know, stay alive and remain with your head above water. And it can definitely be frightening out there and change fast.
So anyway, you know, that thus ended her enjoyment of the waves.
Of course, understandably so.
Yeah.
So you weren't really into the sandcastle bits, but you did say boogie board. You would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was little, I remember, I can't remember the freaking name of the song right now, but do you remember the scene from Alice in Wonderland where she just gets to Wonderland? She just gets out of that bottle and all those little creatures are running around that rock and the dodo is singing on the top of the rock. And he's talking about how, you know, you can dry yourself off. And she's like, I'm not going to ever get dry because the waves keeps hitting us or whatever. Whatever song they sing, I used to run in the waves and sing that song. I can't remember what the hell the song is right now.
That's adorable.
Da, 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 da. No, that's Very Merry on Birthday, so that's not it. But
yeah,
either way, that's what I used to do.
Yeah,
wild times. Anyway,
yes.
So as you can see, this is just a very weird ass mystery. So now I have updates from the 2000s.
Oh wow!
Because that's it. They don't still don't.
There.
Yeah. So 2013, a man by the name of Derek Abbott, a professor at the University of Adelaide, he kind of like spearheads renewed interest in this case, and Abbott's team identifies Robin Thompson as a potential link between Jessica and this Somerton man.
And Robin is the love child.
Right.
Potential.
Well, that we believe, yeah.
Right.
So in 2021, DNA techniques now allow genetic material from this guy's hair to be analyzed. And so genealogists trace the man's ancestry to regions of Europe with potential relatives in Australia and the United States. Now, 2022, so we're like pretty damn close. In a groundbreaking announcement, the Somerton Man is actually identified as Carl.
Coral.
As Rick Grimes would say, Coral. Carl, and it's in quotes here, Charles Webb, W-E-B-B. W-E-B-B. Yeah. Who was an electrical engineer from Melbourne.
Oh, shit.
So it was revealed that Webb's life history, that he was estranged from his wife and he moved to South Australia, which I guess explained his presence in Adelaide. So this identification, it's good, but it doesn't really offer any leads, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel like is
most frustrating.
I mean, how would you, if they were finally able to identify him, are you telling me you can't find any family members or like distant relatives? Like,
right.
I don't know.
80 years after the fact. I mean, the fact that they could identify him, it took that long to identify him is insane.
And I guess it makes sense as to why the wife didn't report him missing, because they were estranged.
Oh,
you know,
call.
Like she's not knowing he's missing.
Right.
And the love child probably didn't know he was the love child.
Exactly. That is, yeah.
So, I mean, of course, the questions are like, how did he actually die? Shami. Why the hell was he carrying that weird page? What was the meaning of those codes? What relationship, if any, did he have with Jessica Thompson or that kid? Because I guess it's not actually confirmed.
Right.
And I mean, would the kid even still be alive? Probably not, if it was 80 years.
Well,
I mean, we're right on the cusp of yes or no.
well, you're right. And if he was believed to be in the 40s, no, then the kid would be alive.
I'm saying even if the kid was 1 year old, he would be 80.
Right.
Right. So I'm saying like we're right on the cusp of like, is he or isn't he?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
So, yeah, it was a different case than I feel like what we do, because there's
espionage.
So many, espionage, potentially, unrequited love.
Yeah, we don't really touch on that.
But, lots of open-ended things. I mean, like you said, I think it's super impressive that they were able to identify the man. I mean, you said it in a way of like what took them so long. I'm thinking after 80 years, that's crazy that they were able to do it.
Totally.
So yeah, but mysterious case, and that's, I guess, where we'll leave it.
Well, thank you. You did a very nice job.
No, thank you.
It was fascinating.
And I guess you'll be going next time.
I will. I will. Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I have an idea for a topic, so we shall see.
Just to say quickly, like how I talked about the, we were talking about like the aliens and the ocean and all those things. Like now everybody's quiet about it again. Those
it faded.
What's it called?
The drones.
The drones. Gonzo.
Mum's the word.
Right. So
it'll be back.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, everybody. It has been real. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Talia doesn't have to say anything. So, as always, everybody,
stay safe
and stay chill.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. You've just listened to Chillworthy. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode. While we strive to keep our discussions engaging and lighthearted, we also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the real lives and events that are at the heart of these stories.
We try to approach each topic with a sense of curiosity and respect, fully aware of the impact these events have had on the individuals and their loved ones. Our goal is to honor their memories by keeping their stories alive and shedding light on the mysteries that surround them.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and don't forget to join us on the next episode of Chillworthy.